Hey guys, what's up? So I'm doing another vlog already. Usually it's like 2 weeks, but there's actually been some stuff that's happened that I want to talk about. But before I go on, I've got a bunch of people here. Joe, oh my god.
By disguise.
Oh, you finally found it.
And then I've also got Yale here, 97 Lego Maniac, and Jay Sparky Steel, and Mr. Custom Lego Boy, along with Delta Night Rome. This has already gotten really awkward, so I'm going to talk about things. And so, yeah, but right off the bat, what I have to talk about is the announcement that I am officially making the entire team of the Fantastic Four. All 4 members. I've already practically nearly finished the majority of them. And if you check out my Instagram, my Twitter, Facebook, all those things, you would have already known that I have pretty much, like I said, just nearly finished them. And so just now, actually, I've been working on Human Torch. And let me just say right now, why am I making the Fantastic Four? I decided to make them last minute because I was thinking about, like, the end of the year is approaching so fast, and I'm going to be making Force Awakens figures soon once I finish reviewing all the sets next month. I don't want to look back on the year and be like, wow, look at that gap where I was supposed to make 4 figures, but just because the movie didn't turn out the way we wanted it to, they just aren't there, and it didn't happen. I don't want to remember 2015 that way, so I decided, I'm not working on anything right now, really, of significance. So, like until Force Friday, when I really get swamped with videos to do and all those reviews that I have to record. So I figured to keep myself busy, I'm almost done with the thing. As a matter of fact, I actually just finished the thing last night. And so, I mean, why would I do nothing with that time is what I'm saying. And like, I've got the Desert Outpost that I could have reviewed, but I figured, you know what? Instead of like taking 2 days to review a set that you guys have all already seen already, I might as well just work on the Fantastic Four and get them done before September 4th, because like I said, there's nothing else really going on at the moment, and I figured to fill like this gap of time, I can make the Fantastic Four and just get them done really quick, and that's what I've been doing. So I've got Reed Richards, who I'm working on. He's actually pretty much already done except for the back of his torso, which I still have to paint, and then Human Torch, I've been working on his legs for the past hour or so, and so I'm working on him at the moment, tonight actually, and then Sue Storm I'll probably be working on tomorrow, but I already have her face and her hair, her torso, and her arms already done, but I still have to do the back of her torso and her legs. So basically I started off with painting their faces and getting all the likenesses to the actors correct and everything, and once I got all that down, and I eventually landed on using the, I decided to use the cyborg head for Johnny Storm, I was like, okay, now I just gotta paint the suits, and if I get this done before September 4th, I can have a Fantastic Four showcase. And no, I'm not making Dr. Doom, because I know how much all of you love Dr. Doom, and I guess myself included. So, yeah, anyway, that's happening. Fantastic Four Showcase. Hopefully going to finish them before September 4th. And Showcase probably won't be on September 4th. But speaking of September 4th, it's a nice segue. September 4th is approaching really fast. I mean, it's next Friday. It's in a week. All 7 Force Awakens sets, all Force Awakens merchandise in general is dropping in a week, and it's going to be insane. Of course, we don't have any official photos, just like Hasbro's leaked catalog and the leaked photos of the sets, because it's like, rather than them showing you what you want to buy, you can, and being all strategic about what you want to get and what you don't, you can just rush in at midnight and just dump everything you want in your cart, and then once you go home, be like, wow, I don't want half of this. I guess that's like Lucasfilm and Disney's like whole marketing plan, along with Hasbro and Lego, to pull this whole thing off for Force Friday. So it's going to be really insane. And Joe just did his imitation of the South Park Mickey laugh. So anyway, I will be at my Toys R Us September 4th, and I'm definitely going to be doing my best to get all 7 sets and the entire first wave, like the first lineup of Black Series figures. It's going to be pretty cool. If you guys don't know what the Black Series figures are, they're the 6-inch, fully articulated, like $20 Hasbro, like Star Wars figures that Hasbro puts out. They're really awesome. It's just unfortunately Hasbro doesn't make enough of them, and pretty much every time I go to a store, there's nothing but Obi-Wans, and it's beyond aggravating. So yeah, Force Friday. Force Awakens sets. It's happening next Friday. It's like, I can't believe it. It's 2 years ago when The Force Awakens was announced. We didn't even know it was called The Force Awakens. It's like, I can't believe we're already here and the sets are coming out next week. It's insane. And the sets, by the way,
why I have this set up. I was actually I was pretty close to okay, for the love of God, of course one of you have to laugh at that. I was pretty close to recording a Force Awakens video today. I was gonna maybe get Aaron Legomatic 9 on. I was maybe gonna get you know, like Nick, Epic Nick 100. We were gonna do maybe a discussion video. I was considering doing it, but then it's like the whole thing here is I don't want to promote I don't want to promote leaked photos, because if I do a video about the leaked Force Awakens photos that were put out that Lego is desperately trying to get off the internet, I don't want to, you know, encourage the wrong things. I don't want to encourage more people to go look at material that really was not supposed to be leaked. It's just promoting leaked content is really just not wise. And so I came to that decision today, even though on Twitter I did say I was considering doing a interactive type of video, and that's because, and I specifically said I was considering it. I was considering it, and now I decided against it because it's really not a good idea. And I don't feel it. I don't think it's gonna happen. So that's, and plus, like, we're already so close to Force Friday. It's next Friday. It's like, why would I make an analysis video? The sets are gonna be out in a week. Usually when I do an analysis video, we're waiting like 2 to 3 months. But yeah, so anyway, another thing I actually posted today was this. You guys might remember this torso. I painted the chest plate area blue, but you might remember that from January when I made that failed Arkham Knight figure, and then I broke it in Shotgun 22 SD's live stream. I broke the ear off. But the Arkham Knight helmet that you see here, this is actually a new one, and this was basically attempt number 2. I was just kind of experimenting with this whole concept. It didn't really work out because obviously the Arkham Knight, his entire helmet has a lot of angles. I mean, it's like such sharp edges and so many different, like a ton of different shapes and angles that that obviously this helmet really doesn't capture that. It's more round, so I posted this on Twitter as a reject concept, and most people seem to have liked it. Some people didn't, but it's just, I don't really see myself continuing with a figure which, you know, whose helmet is as inaccurate as this. So that's probably not going to happen, but to those of you guys who wanted me to make the Arkham Knight, now you know why it really didn't pan out. And I mean, Scarecrow is still a possibility. I have the DC Collectible Scarecrow figure, so I can use that as like real life reference if I ever do make him. But it's just like the whole problem with me making Scarecrow or any other side figures besides Arrow and the Flash figures is, like, once I'm done reviewing all 7 Force Awakens sets, Halo 5 Guardians will not be far away, and I want to do at least 3 figures for Halo 5 Guardians, as you guys might have seen in my last couple vlogs. I have already made significant progress on my Halo 5 Chief. I mean, I've been saving this Brick Affliction set since 2013 for this day. You know, I mean, I wouldn't say for this day, but for this release of Halo 5. So, I want to make sure that showcase happens on the release date for Halo 5. Like, you know, I want to make sure that showcase goes up October 26th, you know, right before the game comes out, but it may or may not happen because of some complications that have been coming up. So, I mean, we'll see, but as of right now, the Halo 5 Guardians showcase may or may not happen when I want it to, but you will definitely be seeing a new Master Chief. That's guaranteed already. So, yeah, aside from that, though, like I was kind of, I guess, like, continuing what I was saying there, you know, like, once I finish all of those reviews and then Halo 5 comes up, I'll be making the figures for that if I can, you know, get all 3 done. Then Flash Season 2 and Arrow Season 4 will have already been airing, and it's like I want to anyway make the new Flash suit, but let me just tell you right now, I'm not making an entire new Flash suit. I would literally just take my 2014 Flash and just paint the emblem white, because there's barely any other difference on the suit. Some argue that, like, there's red on the suit now, like there's more red, but the whole thing about that is it's not that noticeable. If you've seen the recent promos that the CW has been putting out, like the 30 to 16, like the 15, 30-second promos for Season 2, it's just not noticeable enough for me to make an entire new figure. So I'll just probably paint the emblem white and not even put it in a showcase. Just something for like photos when I do make other characters, such as like Zoom and maybe Killer Frost, you know, other characters, Jay Garrick, that are coming to Flash Season 2. You know, I'll just paint the emblem on his suit white just to make sure it looks updated for the photos that I take of those other figures. But then the Arrow Season 4 suit I'll make as soon as possible once we get some more reference for that. And, you know, so I'm basically saying I don't really see where I would be able to fit in Arkham Knight figures, and Scarecrow obviously falling under that category. But yeah, aside from all that, though, we got some new Civil War artwork, which is freaking awesome, and it's definitely interesting to look at because, first of all, right off the bat, you can see that Black Panther is on Tony Stark's side. He's on Iron Man's side there, and it's really strange because from what we heard, Black Panther was supposed to be the neutral one in the film, but maybe that's not the case, and maybe they've given that role over to Spider-Man last minute, but I don't really see how that's possible given how fast all of that came together, you know, in terms of like their script and how like Spider-Man just kind of, that whole deal with Sony was so fast. I don't really see how they would have worked that into the script. But I mean, this banner that was leaked is amazing looking. I mean, I love everything about it. Ant-Man on Captain America's shoulder. That's such a dream come true. I mean, Bucky's obviously not wearing his mask anymore, but man, he really needs to paint over that red star on his arm. Falcon, he's got his new drone that we've heard about in the the Disney's D23 trailer, the Red Wing, which is what I'm pretty sure it's called, and that's pretty exciting. Can't wait to see how Lego ends up making that in their upcoming sets that they'll have in for the release of Civil War in May. And then we've also got Black Widow obviously on Tony's side, and that sucks because that's going to be like a depressing fight between her and Hawkeye, given how close they are and how well she knows his family. So she has short hair in this promo art, clearly indicating that this is obviously concept art because she's going to have much longer hair in the film. We actually got a couple of more like lineup shots, which is pretty awesome. I don't actually have them pulled up right now, but there are a couple lineup shots of just like their costumes and all of them just like standing together. You know, you get like a red background for Iron Man's side, and you've got a like blue background for Steve's side. So I mean, it's pretty awesome artwork. You can look it up. It's all over the internet. And Hawkeye even has a new purple suit. Finally, something close to the comics. He himself, Jeremy Renner, said he probably will never be sporting a mask, but I think that's okay because at least we're getting a purple suit. I can't wait to paint that when the time comes. And also something I'm really curious about, speaking of Ant-Man, is that a new suit? We can't tell. Only the people who saw the D23 trailer and were in that auditorium that day actually know if he has a new suit or not. I don't know anyone who was in that auditorium and actually saw the trailer, but I am really curious if he's going to have a new suit because like it doesn't look like Vision is going to be any different from, the way he was in Age of Ultron. So I don't really see why I would make an entire new Vision figure. I'd probably just like include it in like the intro and outro of the Civil War showcase next year. I'm not going to remake figures. So I wouldn't make, like when the next year comes around, I probably wouldn't have made him any differently. When that time comes, it's like, I don't see why I would make an entire new figure because like I was just saying there, I wouldn't have made it any differently. At least I'm assuming that's what my thought process would be like in May of next year, or actually even earlier, because I'll be starting on the figures, as a matter of fact, at the start of the year, given how many I already have planned to make for that movie. But yeah, the War Machine has a pretty horrifying gun. That looks terrifying. The new gun on his shoulder that's mounted on that track, it's terrifying. Like it looks like it can just like vaporize someone. I mean, it's pretty insane, and I'm really curious to see Sharon Carter's role in the movie. Peggy's niece, as we saw in Winter Soldier, Agent 13. That's going to be interesting. Didn't know she was actually going to be in combat in the movie. I like these pictures are depicting because she's like really like she's even in the lineup shot. But what's obvious in this photo is that Spider-Man isn't in this shot, as I mentioned earlier, because it was just too early, I think, when this concept was made. So definitely pretty awesome. The lineup shots, if you want to check those out, like I said, you can look those up. They're pretty cool, and I cannot wait to get started on Civil War minifigures and Batman vs Superman figures starting in January of next year. But obviously, I've got my 12 Force Awakens figures to break through once I'm done reviewing all 7 sets in September. It's going to be pretty crazy after Force Friday next week, and so I think that's pretty much it, though, for this vlog. I'm going to give you guys one quick look at the Fantastic Four again. So this is Reed Richards so far. You can see them in much better quality on my Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And then I'm working on Johnny Storm tonight. And then I'm also working on Sue Storm tomorrow. And I'm going to try to get all of these done before the release date of all the LEGO sets and basically all Star Wars The Force Awakens merchandise, next Friday. And like I already said, the thing is done. And for my first full-on custom big fig, he turned out, I think, pretty amazing. And outlining all these rocks, it was not fun. I think this was definitely the most time-consuming and most repetitive paint job I've done all year. But yeah, Fantastic Four figures are Fantastic Four minifigures are coming regardless of how the movie turned out. I'm making them anyway, and it's already done, so deal with it. And that's it for this vlog. Everyone say goodbye. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Boing.